Zagros, what would you like to say?
Hello,
Yeah,
how are you?
very good, thank you.
If it's not too late, I'd like to pitch in uh, about the hijab ban issue.
Sure,
And
yeah, absolutely.
speaking from someone's perspective who lived in Turkey. So, as you may know, Ataturk, back in the 20s, he implemented a ban on the hijab. Um, and people were not allowed to wear it in public offices, like in government offices, in public schools. And I think it had really bad long-term repercussions because you are basically oppressing an entire people. And I don't think forced secularization is secularization in any sense. So you may have heard of Fethullah Gulen. He is this cult leader who is still in Pennsylvania. He and his allies back then, Erdogan, saw that there was a vacuum, an opportunity for Islamic leadership to arise and take over and get Turkey back into the Islamic path. And they utilized that the ban of the hijab to act as a catalyst to reinforce people's Islamic feelings. They started investing heavily in private schools, very high quality schools with good education,
Yeah,
all over
Golan did that.
Turkey.
My question to you is, I think we understand the argument. My question to you is, fair enough, Ataturk, he banned from all government buildings, and it was quite something. But him doing that in 1917, 18, or whenever he came to power. I think initially it was General Pasha. But fair enough, forcing adults not to wear it. But what about banning all religious symbols from schools because kids are too young to be labeled as Muslim or Christian? What do you think? Would you be okay with that if all religions are banned? All religious
yeah,
symbols are
so
banned?
yeah, so back then I was in the I thought that it should be banned, but now I think I've seen that it's not the right way to do it because yes, a child could not be considered a Muslim and they are under the custody of their parents and they will most likely follow what their parents want them to follow. Uh, but I still don't think it's the right way because whether it's you force them, you ban it when they are little or when they are old, they will retain those sentiments of having been oppressed. I think the only good way to do it is to acknowledge that we cannot save everyone, and we cannot save everyone right now whenever we want it. There will be some losses, in this case, intellectual casualties. But
Mm.
I think we should acknowledge this that
Okay.
only long-term solutions can work.
I think that's
Uh,
a very good point, and I don't know if Nuria is there and listening or not. But I think this is a very good point because from practicality's point of view, we actually don't know how this is going to pan out because we know when September 2001 happened, America attacked the Muslim countries, and as a result, we saw a wave of radicalization in Muslim countries. Like for example, in countries like Pakistan and India, pre 2001, people didn't used to wear that many niqabs and burqas, but now they felt attacked, so they came back more um, they became more fundamentalist and they became more radicals. So in this case, as the guy said initially in the news report, he said that only out of 120 girls or whatever, only 9 girls insisted on wearing the burqa. But are they now going to feel attacked and they're going to, as a protest, those 9 girls are going to pull out and then it's going to become a bigger movement and more girls are going to wear it? We don't know that. So even though you're trying to protect children from indoctrination, is it going to backfire though? So I think that's a very good point, and I think we don't know. I think the closest example we have is Austria and France, and we don't know. We don't have any data yet if it's backfiring or not. And to be honest, I actually don't have the answer to it. I don't know if it's going to be, if in the long run, if it's going to turn out, if it's going to push girls more towards radical Islam, or they're going to give up and they're going to say, historically speaking, you're right. People actually don't respond well to authority if something is forced on them. The only solution, and this is why we said the only solution is make more ex-Muslims. Tell them that Islam is not the right religion. Tell them that ladies. So that's why on a larger scale outside of schools, I'm definitely in favor. But I'm saying in schools, I think it's a bit of a 50-50. That's a very good point that you made. If it's practically is going to backfire. So I don't know. I think I should be 50-50. But in the big wide world, I think I'm definitely against banning the burqa from public schools, and I'm not in favor of that. But at the same time, we should be allowed to criticize and mock and make fun of that. That is a part of our ex-Muslim movement that we're gonna hopefully those girls who are insisting on wearing a burqa or a hijab or a niqab, one day they'll just burn it. Like other people. So I don't know, Nuria, if you heard any of that. What would you say to that? What if it starts backfiring and women end up becoming more radicalized?
Yeah, I think that's go on, Zagros.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that is a very valid point, and it's very much like a reality that we can expect. Like, just talking from a purely personal perspective, even like growing up in the UK and going to the mosque classes, I was very much like, it wasn't so explicit in front of me that there's like Christians and Muslims, but because you're fed that, and my grandfather was very religious and he would constantly tell me that, you know, we're Muslim and we're different. It was on me. I wanted to project that identity. So I put the hijab on and I wanted to outwardly show like I'm a Muslim and you should be able to recognize me from the street because there is this divide between us. So that can very well happen. And I think that's why you always have to go back to education. That in tandem with, as Haris said, the more ex-Muslims that speak out, because if you are even slightly religiously inclined and you would want, if you're passionate about it, you want to defend your God, you want to defend your rituals and your religious customs, you would don the hijab for sure. But it's only when we speak out and we show the origins of it and we show those cartoons of Omar peeping on Sauda and we're like, this is the origins of this symbol you hold in such high regard. This is actually where it came from. Now, how do you feel about it? I think that's that is a very valid point. But again, the solution to that, in my opinion, is just education.
Yeah. Totally.
And I think the best solution is let us criticize Islam, let us go after hijab and all these religious symbols, let them wear it too at the same time. And we believe we have numbers to prove that that ex-Muslim and atheism is growing across the world. In my book, I was just writing this in the introductory chapter, and I was sharing that in 1900, the number of atheists and agnostics was 0.01%. In the year 2000, it increased to 2.5%. Fair enough. But in these 20 years, in the last 20 years, it's gone from 2.5% to 7%. There are various factors involved. China having atheistic roots because of communism, social media, the new atheist movement, etc. There could be various reasons. It's not an academic paper, so I'm not going to give a conclusive answer. But my point is, numbers show that people are ditching religion and along with it, all the religious symbols across the world. So that is probably the best option. And forcing them to ditch their religion by force, that could actually backfire, and it might make our job a lot harder. So Zagros, thank you very much for your honest opinion, and I appreciate it.
Totally backfire in Turkey because for many decades you could observe an upward trend towards secularization, but there was also a hidden trend, a hidden graph that people were not able to see because you oppress them, you push them into the shadows. And then movements such as the one created by Fethullah Gülen and his ancient ally Erdogan grew. They infiltrated the government at so many levels, the military, the police forces. The attempted coup, I think, was a very clear consequence of the previous mistake done by the seculars in Turkey in the past. Furthermore, I'd like to add, it might seem counterintuitive, but I think not only not call for the banning of the hijab, etc., such religious symbols, but I think we should go so far as to actually support those who want to wear it and what you might call it, actually
I do
pressure the
support
government
them.
into not doing taking such radical actions, because
I do
yeah.
I do support them. I think we do support them as adults. It just
Look, I think it's honestly
becomes
as
a bit
simple
tricky.
as our position. Well, my position, Horace, I don't know if you want to differ,
Mine's
but
the same.
it's literally like if I wanted to get a tattoo, yeah. If I'm an adult and I'm of the legal
Get a
age to
tattoo on
get
your
a tattoo,
face,
yeah,
on your forehead,
or
saying I'm a
anywhere
clown. You should be allowed to do it.
Yeah, if I want to get Muppet tattooed on my forehead,
Or
I'm
Butters.
all right. Calm down. How do you know this London lingo, huh?
Yeah, you taught me. You taught
I
me.
even have personal experience with the Islamization.
We gotta wrap it up, Zagros.
Further becoming more and more conservative in my family. Like the women in my tribe, for example, used to wear a turban, not the hijab. It's like a loose kind of head covering. And over the course of the past 15 to 20 years, we have observed just in my family even, women tending towards wearing the hijab more and more, like more stricter, you know. Like I am entirely against banning, and I think we should even, although it's counterintuitive, support the rights, to wear it. And
yeah, okay, good. All right, thank you, Zagros.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your point of view.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.